There is a secret world hidden beneath the world you see, a world that does not reveal itself to the many, only to the few, only to those whose inner frequency vibrates high enough to pierce the illusion, only to souls who have awakened, even slightly, from the dream most people call reality. Thoth called this hidden realm the subtle layer, not a different place, but a different dimension of perception. It exists interwoven with your ordinary world, like a faint outline behind a painting, like a whisper behind a spoken word. It is the realm where intention becomes form, where every thought releases a ripple, where every emotion carries architecture, and where the unseen shapes the scene long before physical matter catches up. Most people move through life blind, not because they lack intelligence, but because their vibration has been dimmed, dulled by routine, fear, distraction, and noise. They believe reality is only what their eyes can measure. They think life is concrete, solid, explained only by logic. But high vibration beings, they walk the same earth, yet experience a different universe. They sense the patterns behind events, the strange timing that never feels accidental. They feel the energy beneath the words, the intention behind a smile, the weight behind the silence. They notice when someone's presence feels cold, heavy, or draining, even if nothing is said. They see the truth inside the illusion, as if their mind naturally moves beneath the surface of things. If you've ever felt like you see deeper than others, like conversations carry meanings no one else catches, like you can predict outcomes before they unfold, or sense emotions others haven't even admitted to themselves, it's not imagination, it's not overthinking, it's not sensitivity, it's initiation. Thoth taught that when a soul reaches a certain vibrational threshold, the process doesn't look dramatic. There is no sudden enlightenment, no beam of light, no spiritual fireworks. Instead, the veil begins to thin. Reality feels slightly more fluid. Moments feel interconnected. You glimpse the invisible threads that tie experiences together. You begin to sense the subtle nudges of the universe, the way it guides, warns, redirects, and communicates through signs. You start to notice synchronicities that follow you, numbers that appear repeatedly, dreams that feel like messages, inner knowing that has no logical explanation, yet proves itself true again and again. This is what happens when perception rises, not because the world changed, but because you did. Your mind becomes clearer, your intuition becomes louder, your awareness expands beyond linear thinking into something multidimensional, fluid, alive. Thoth said, "The veil is not removed. It is dissolved by the frequency of the awakened." And so you begin to see reality, not as the world has programmed you to see it, but as it truly is. A living field of consciousness, a responsive intelligence, a mirror of your inner state, a tapestry woven from energy first, matter second. Most people will never see this, not because they don't have the capacity, but because they are still asleep behind the noise of their own minds. But if you're hearing this message and something inside you is stirring, if you feel recognition rather than surprise, if this feels like remembering instead of learning, then the veil is already thinning for you and the unseen layer of reality is beginning to reveal itself. Perception is not about eyesight, it's about vibration. Two people can stand in the same room, hear the same words, witness the same moment, yet one sees only the surface, while the other perceives the hidden architecture beneath it. The difference isn't intelligence. It isn't experience. It's frequency. Just like a radio can only tune to the station its frequency aligns with, your consciousness can only perceive the layers of reality your vibration is resonating with. This is why raising your frequency doesn't just change how you feel. It changes what you can see. Most people operate on a dense, heavy frequency, weighed down by fear, routine, survival, and distraction. In that state, perception is narrow. The world looks flat. Life feels random. Nothing seems connected. But when your vibration rises, even by a little, your awareness expands. The edges of reality soften. You begin to sense the invisible currents moving beneath events, guiding them, shaping them, weaving them into meaning. This is why high vibration souls can sense lies before they're spoken, because the frequency of dishonesty feels off in the field. Feel when the energy shifts in a room, because they're attuned to the subtle fluctuations others ignore. Attract synchronicities because their vibration is aligned with the flow of the universe. Receive intuitive warnings because higher consciousness communicates through sensation. See repeating signs and patterns everywhere because the veil between the seen and unseen is thinner for them. Find meaning in coincidences because they recognize the language of the quantum field to the unawakened. This looks like intuition, sensitivity, or even luck. But Thoth said it with absolute clarity. The awakened do not guess, they remember. And this is the key. When your frequency rises, you aren't developing new abilities, you are reclaiming ancient ones. Abilities your soul has carried across lifetimes, abilities that have been buried beneath noise, trauma, and conditioning. Abilities that begin to reawaken the moment your vibration aligns with truth. As your frequency elevates, you begin to read the quantum field automatically, not through effort, through resonance. You feel the future in the present. You sense the intention behind words. You predict outcomes not because you're psychic, but because you're attuned to the patterns that create them. Imagine the quantum field as an ocean. Most people see only the surface, the waves. But high vibration beings sense the currents underneath, the movements that shape the waves long before they appear. This is why you can feel when something is about to happen. Why you can tell someone is lying even if their expression is perfect. Why you can meet a person and feel their entire emotional landscape in seconds. Why opportunities appear at precisely the right moment. Why warnings come as sensations, dreams, or gut feelings. You are not imagining this. You are not being dramatic, delusional, naive, or too sensitive. You are perceiving a layer of reality others cannot access because their vibration hasn't yet opened the doorway. Thoth taught that reality is layered like a prism. Most only see one color, but the awakened, they see the full spectrum. As your frequency rises, you are no longer living reactively, stuck in cause and effect. You begin living creatively, moving in alignment with the deeper rhythm of the universe. You no longer feel separate from life, you feel woven into it. So if you've ever wondered why you notice more, feel more, sense more, know this. It's not a flaw. It's not imagination. It's not coincidence. It is the activation of your higher perception, the vibration that allows you to see what others cannot. High vibration people don't just see differently, they interpret differently. Two people can look at the same situation and walk away with entirely different realities, because one is watching with the human eyes and the other with the higher mind. When a high vibration soul sees someone angry, they don't react to the anger. They recognize the wound beneath it, the silent ache that person doesn't know how to express. When they meet someone selfish, they don't judge. They feel the fear that is driving the self-protection, the belief that there isn't enough love, time, or safety to go around. When they encounter someone lost, stuck, or confused, they don't label them as broken. They see the spiritual amnesia, the forgetting of one's true identity as a divine being. This is the vision of the higher mind, the mind Thoth called the eye of illumination. It's not located in the brain. It is a state of consciousness where perception rises above the illusions of personality and sees directly into the architecture of the soul. The higher mind sees causes, not just effects. It sees energy, not just behavior. It sees patterns, not just moments. It sees destiny, not just the present. This is why awakening changes your entire relationship with the world. You stop taking things personally. You stop reacting impulsively. You stop seeing everything as random or chaotic. Instead, you begin to read the hidden script unfolding beneath the surface of every experience. You start to understand that people don't hurt others because they're evil, but because they're hurting. You see that people don't sabotage themselves because they're stupid, but because they're afraid of their own power. You realize that rejection, betrayal, and loss were never punishments. They were redirections, initiations, or closures for your highest timeline. This is why your soul feels older than your body. You've lived enough lifetimes, or awakened deeply enough in this one, to recognize the universal patterns behind human behavior. It's why you feel déjà vu in certain places. Your energy recognizes frequencies your mind has forgotten. It's why some people feel like lessons instead of relationships. Your soul knew the contract long before your mind caught up. It's why certain conversations feel guided, as if an unseen intelligence is speaking through you. The more your consciousness expands, the more the invisible narrative reveals itself. You begin to see that every person you meet is playing a role in your evolution. Every challenge is a coded message. Every coincidence is a signal from the field. Every ending is preparation for alignment. The higher mind doesn't just interpret events, it translates them. It reads the vibrational blueprint beneath all things. It recognizes cycles repeating so they can be broken. It senses which timeline is opening and which is collapsing. It knows when something is meant for you because your energy magnetizes toward it with perfect clarity. This is why you feel things long before they happen. Why you can sense when someone is not aligned with you, even if they appear perfect on the surface. Why your intuition speaks in flashes, visions, or sudden knowing. Thoth said that the higher mind is not something you develop, it is something you remember. It is the natural state of the awakened human being, and as your vibration rises, its vision returns to you piece by piece, layer by layer. So if you've ever wondered why you feel deeper, why you know things without knowing how, why patterns jump out at you effortlessly, why your empathy is almost otherworldly, understand this. You are not imagining it. You are not overthinking. You are not too sensitive. You are accessing the vision of the higher mind, the same vision Thoth taught to initiates who were ready to see what others cannot. There comes a moment in every awakened soul's journey when the boundary between the physical world and the unseen world becomes thin, almost transparent. It doesn't happen suddenly, and it doesn't happen with fanfare. It unfolds quietly, like a curtain slowly being pulled back, revealing something that was always there but previously unnoticed. As your vibration becomes clearer and more refined, you start noticing the subtle communications of the universe. What once looked like random occurrences now feel intentional, almost surgical in their precision. You begin to see repeating numbers not as coincidences, but as encrypted reminders. You notice signs that appear at the exact moment your mind asks a question. You start receiving intuitive downloads, those sudden bursts of clarity that feel too vivid to have come from your own thoughts. And your dreams, they begin to take on a new texture, a new weight. Some dreams feel more real than anything you have ever touched in waking life. Thoth taught that these are not accidents or aesthetic expressions of the cosmos. They are messages, carefully calibrated vibrations sent from the higher realms to guide you back into alignment with your soul's original blueprint, the version of yourself that existed before fear, trauma, and conditioning distorted your inner compass. Most people move through life in a reactive trance. They respond to circumstances, to triggers, to fears. They navigate through chaos trying to control outcomes, forcing situations, pushing against currents they don't realize are there to redirect them, not punish them. But high vibration beings move differently. They move through life receiving, not reacting. They understand that reality is not something to wrestle with, but something to interpret. They understand that the universe speaks softly, and only a quiet internal frequency can hear it. They no longer chase outcomes. They follow currents, They recognize when a path feels heavy and they let it go. They sense when a door is meant to close, even if it closes abruptly. They trust the delay. They trust the redirection. They trust the strange timing that others ignore or complain about. They realize that the universe is not blocking them. It's editing their timeline. This is the difference the unawakened cannot see. Reality is never random. It is responsive. It is intelligent. It is alive. When you reach this state of vibration, synchronicities become confirmations rather than surprises. Intuition becomes a steady companion rather than an occasional whisper. The world feels less like a battlefield and more like a coded map. Every interaction carries meaning. Every encounter is part of a larger narrative. Every moment becomes an opportunity to listen rather than react. You begin to feel as though you're standing in two realms at once: the physical world of form and the subtle world of energy. You feel the gentle pull of guidance in your chest, a resonance that tells you where alignment is and where it isn't. You notice that silence now speaks louder than noise, and you recognize that when life shifts unexpectedly, it is never chaos, it is choreography. This is what it means to walk the thin line between realms, to see the physical world clearly while still perceiving the whispers behind it, to live in time but not be controlled by it, to understand that your reality responds to your frequency, not your force. In this stage of awakening, the universe becomes participatory. It feels as if it is leaning towards you, communicating with you, shaping itself around your inner state. You are no longer a passive observer. You are a conscious co-creator. And once you reach this vibrational clarity, you can never unknow it. And now, as the journey comes to its final moment, you begin to understand why you have always felt different, why you sense more than you can logically explain, why you know things without learning them, why your perception feels sharper, deeper, almost ancient. You are not too sensitive. You are not imagining things, you are remembering. You are tuned. Thoth's final message echoes through every awakening soul. When the vibration rises, the vision returns. Not new vision, return vision. Because the truth is, you were never blind. You were merely asleep. If this video resonated with you, it's not by accident. It's because the veil is thinning for you as well. You are beginning to see the invisible architecture behind your experiences, the threads that connect events, people, emotions, and lessons into a coherent design. You are starting to recognize that nothing in your life has been random. Every moment, every pain, every synchronicity has been a piece of the larger blueprint your soul wrote long before you were born. You are remembering the truth behind the illusion, that you are more than a body, more than a personality, more than a story. You are consciousness becoming self-aware again. If you feel this activation stirring within you, that subtle inner electricity, that resonance in your chest, that quiet recognition, then you are already answering the call. This message reached you because you were ready to hear it. So if you feel it, declare it. Type in the comments, "Thoth, I see beyond the veil." Not as a slogan, but as a signal, a confirmation to the universe that you are awake and aware. Subscribe for more teachings and share this message with someone who is awakening, because not everyone can see what you see, but those who can, those whose vision is returning, are being called right now. You are part of that calling.